Hello everyone, it's your friend Tony Ortiz. We're back and we're in the Bloodstained Ritual of the Night tutorial series, and today we're going to give you an example run of the STS flag set. STS stands for Same Type Shuffle, as I mentioned in some of the previous videos. So what we're going to do is we're just going to play through an example seed that I'm going to generate right now on the fly, and we're going to talk our way through it. And we're going to talk about the routing and the decision making and all sorts of other stuff like that, just so you kind of have an idea of what's going on and what it will be like. I'm going to speedrun, of course, but if you do not have any desire to speedrun, that is not an issue. You can go ahead and apply this to any kind of randomizer playthrough, casual, and so on. But there's going to be a few things we're going to be looking for. First off, we're going to keep in mind that I have the free DLC that everyone gets from purchasing the game, so I'm going to use that maybe to my advantage. I'll probably equip the items a little bit later, maybe the first 4 or 5 screens, but not until we have to actually do some damage to something, just to save some time because I'm going to pick up a bunch of items. So things you can do to help your speed: you're going to limit your menuing, you're going to limit your traveling around and your shopping, and you're going to be picking up certain items that maybe will help you move faster and flipping them right away depending on what they are. Big one is waystones. So if you have waystones in the shop, or you can craft them and buy them, you can use them to get quickly out of locations and teleport back to other spots and travel quickly. So we're going to be trying to leverage that when we can. And the other thing we're going to be trying to do as much as possible is to find ways to deal damage, because the end bosses are pretty difficult to defeat, especially with just melee and limited health healing options, which you don't often find. In STS, one thing that you'll notice is you'll have a much higher chance of having things like waystones appear in the shop for you, but you also will have a much lower chance of having food just appear in the shop for you. And food and drink heal your HP and MP respectively at a much easier rate than potions. You can only hold a limited amount of potions, so you can only hold 9 basic potions, 5 mediums, and 3 EXs. Whereas food you can hold up a 99 stack of. So typically what we're going to do is we're going to try to find a bunch of food. So we're going to be opening a lot more blue chests than we would normally need to. If we are lacking in damage to make up for that, and because we're going to be taking more hits, so we're going to need healing to offset that. So there's a lot of micro decisions that are going to go into my decision making there. We're going to be checking a lot of accessory spots. And then like weapon chests and stuff, you'll see me start to skip things like weapons and armor, depending on what I find and when. There's some utility items we're going to be looking for as well. So like weapon chests could have Graham, which if we have infinite MP will give us a lot of horizontal movement. Armor chests could have Aegis plate, which will help us get through environmental hazards and so on. So I might still open some chests and stuff like that as I go through, but I'll explain what I'm doing as I do that. So we're also, when it comes to stat ups, we're going to be picking up a lot of stat ups early, but then as we get into the game, we're going to start ignoring them, especially if they're out of the way, because once we have a certain amount of HP and MP, we're pretty much good on those fronts. You can never have too much MP if you don't have infinite, but it also has a diminishing point of return because you do naturally regenerate MP at a specific rate. Maybe we'll find some things that'll help us regenerate it faster as well. So, okay. First chest is the key item, so we always want to open that, of course, and we'll be covering all the key item locations. There are 2 on the boat, and there's only 1 purple though on the boat. So and in the same type of shuffle, we're only shuffling things amongst themselves. So like weapon chests will stay in weapons, key item locations will stay with key items, purple shards will stay with purple shard enemy drops, and so on. I think it's about time to get ready. So the bottom left has the timer. And I'm just going to use the in-game timer for this run because we're not in serious competitive play. But just keep in mind that if you're in competitive play, you're going to want to use a separate timer. Or if you're in a race room, you're going to defer to the race room timer for your actual time. The in-game timer does not do a great job of tracking lag and screen transitions accurately, and it does not track saving and resetting at all, which in competitive play is usually banned because it's unfair to people on console. Console takes a lot longer to reset than PC. So, it is what it is. And actually, before we get started, I'm going to go back to the title screen real quick. I'm going to just quickly rerun through these options with you. So if you're going to be in competitive play, you're going to want to come over to graphics, and you're going to want to make sure that your VSync and your frame rate smoothing are on. This capture FPS at 60. And this will make it fair for you to be playing with people on console, because there's a lot of things in the game that are tied to FPS, and these options on console either don't exist or don't work properly. So like the console ports are just capped at 60. The game is not optimized, unfortunately, for modern console. It came out in 2019, so your PS5 has a lot of issues. The Xbox Series consoles seem to play it just fine. from what we can tell. But just to make sure that everything's fair and balanced, this is what we do. The first ever live race that I did with my good buddy Yeehaw is I capped this on PC and he played on the Series S, and we had a great race. So make sure you do that. There's other things you can do. You can change languages and stuff. I'm gonna change. You can change the color of the blood. I'm gonna change the voices to Japanese because I'm sick of hearing the English voices, and there's a random color for my blood. Okay, and you'll notice again, once you generate the seed, it's saved. You can come back and start this at any time. Just keep in mind though, when you do save, it's just only a single save slot. You will save over this. So write down the seed number, or you can jump back in and hit the menu to get the seed number if you want to replay it, or share it with a friend after the fact. All right, and I'm just going to do one last thing, which is unscrew my water bottle top here so that it's open. Because despite the fanfares in this game, there's not a lot of chances to take sips of water. So talking through a longer run like this, we're going to need this. So if I pause during a thought and take a sip of water, just let you're getting a little behind the scenes look at what it's like to run your mouth the whole time when you're playing. So, okay, here we go. And I'm going to count down, and then we're going to go. The timer will start down there in the bottom when we press any button. And let's go 3, 2, 1, and we're off. All right. Okay, so silver bromide, that's a key item, but it's going to unlock another section of the train, or the castle, or the map, whatever you want to call it. And that's the train section. So the train section has 3 purple shards and an accessory check. However, or 2 accessory checks. However, both accessory checks are gated. So one is gated by the small little like nook that you have to get through. So you need reflector ray or you need dimension shift to get through it. And then the other one is gated by having some kind of form of double jump, or like high jump or invert, or some kind of movement to get out of the pit that it's in. Alternatively, if you can somehow get there without having any movement, you can waystone out of that area, so that's possible as well. Okay. That's unfortunate. We just had to take a hit there. That's RNG. Nothing you can do about that. I could have equipped a weapon and slashed him. Okay, so... This purple's guaranteed. Normally in the game it's flame cannon, which lets you light that fuse to blow open that shortcut. That's just open for you in randomizer, because if you didn't get a fire shard, you wouldn't be able to open it. Funny enough, the free DLC gives you a purple shard for free, and it's a pink Shantae fireball, so it actually opens the cannon shortcuts, which is kind of interesting. So in theory, you don't need the okay. You don't need that anymore. Alright. Little technique there. A little sliding off the edge and then jumping to make sure we get across that gap. Don't think a regular jump can make that. You can do the same thing up top there as well. We'd like to call it coyote time. It's the, like Wile E. Coyote runs off of a ledge, and then there's like a second or two before he actually falls for you to get that gag in. That's kind of like what it's like for us, but it's great for all sorts of little optimizations here and there. If I'm going off of a ledge, you'll also notice I'm going to slide off of it, and that's just to save some frames from the animation of just walking off of the ledge. We'll go off of the ledge a little bit closer to your destination of falling off, and you save a few frames. Okay, gambling ring. Okay, that's great. And then this warrants a pause because this is luck, and this is the best sword you can find in the game out of a chest for damage. This is actually going to accelerate our ability to kill enemies by quite a bit. I'm doing triple damage that I was before with the DLC short blade there. Okay, I'm going to go to the left here and pick up this money chest. This is usually something we skip, but just going to go ahead and grab it. I don't need to save. There's a save room right below there. If you're new to the game, you can utilize that if you have problems with this boss. Shouldn't be too much of a problem for me. Especially the best melee weapon. Okay, Summon Hellhound. That's one of the 2 best red shards in the game. It costs 200 MP though, so to use it, we won't be using it unless we find infinite MP, but it's possible. So a lot of my execution is going to look a little sluggish and not as clean as it would, and that's because I normally play on uncapped on PC, but with capped frame rate, that's just not in the cards here. So I'm going to be a little bit less on the execution front than I normally would be. First ring is here, but we need to find regular ring first. Scarlet dress is here. Ancient tiara for cotton, that looks good. Cotton's usually easy to come across depending on your drop luck. Okay. Gonna turn in the bromide here to get our ID. You have to talk to shopkeeper to advance this quest. Okay, no waystones. Nothing good there. Okay, ribbon is also here, but ribbons also drop off of one enemy. That drop pool is randomized, so it's possible we might want to hold out for that. We're not going to use Summon Rad at all. We're not going to use Directed Shield. Go ahead and get rid of those. Vitality Ring, we're not going to use that at all. We're going to keep our Kung Fu Shoes just in case we're able to use them to move across some gaps with them. Okay, put that scarf and that. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and make a decision to do the first quest real quick. I also bought a rice seed. Might not come into play, but giving ourselves a chance here. Okay, vanilla purple. Okay, that's actually a really good red. There's some wool. That might help us craft something. Okay, and I'm going to turn the rice seed in right here to the farmer guy. If we find halite or soy sauce and sea urchin, we can make some food off of the rice. So it's cheap. It's worth just checking out real quick. See if we got anything off the wool. Nope. Okay. And, there's nothing else in the shop that I can afford to buy with what I have right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and press forward. Now, without waystones, you're going to want to make sure you pick up this teleporter right here. With waystones, you can ignore it, and then, you know, since you teleport right into the next room here, you can pick it up afterwards. Okay, and if you didn't watch the movement tutorial video, we backdash because backdashing is faster than sliding or walking. Although, with the Strider Belt, sliding then becomes faster than walking. So we're going to go ahead and equip that right now as well because... Okay, there's the Gram Sword I mentioned. So we find infinite MP. We have even better horizontal movement than we have right now. Oop. You will see me occasionally slip up and backdash out of a slide, and that is because the way the sliding works, every 4th slide, for whatever reason, the game just decides to like make you lose a little bit of momentum. But if you backdash cancel into a slide, you negate this. So don't ask me why, but when timed, that's how it goes. Okay, we don't need to kill more bone warts because we know what purple he drops, and it's not a good one. We'll just kill the ones that are in our way. That's a little bit better than what we have. It has less attack stats, but it lets us kind of like tap enemies with damage and kind of like boost through them a little bit. I'm going to switch to it. And it does have higher defense, which I'm not concerned about. Oh, whoa. Fun. I'm not concerned about offense right now because I have the best sword that's in a treasure chest in the entire game. I got really good drop luck. I hope this doesn't come back to bite us later. Okay, we don't need an ammunition upgrade. always nice to have a movement upgrade early. A lot of Siege, you don't get it, and you just have to deal with it. Okay, so now we come into this little section right here. There's a gap to the right. Wow, that's vanilla as well. Okay, well, that's interesting. I mean, I know it's randomized because I've gotten some random stuff so far, but 2 purples in their vanilla locations is interesting. Okay. And so Toad and Blue Parma both drop purples there. BGK also drops a purple, big night guy. The problem is that Toad has a lower drop percentage, a 1% lower drop percentage than Blue Parma, and all the other purple dropping guys for the most part. Some actually have a little bit more. There's like a 5 and a 10, and some of the bosses are 100, but I don't like to farm that room because it takes a long time to reset, and it takes a long time to clear. But we got the Toad drop, so that's fine. Makes our decision for us. We can just go ahead and progress. I could also farm Plume Parma somewhere. Oh boy. So that's one of the 2 best purples in the game. And the reason it's so good is because you can spam it without using too much MP, so... Wow, our drop rate is juiced right now. Okay. I'm just going to take a save just in case of some random death somewhere. So anyway, as I explained in the shard video, the per second shards are really good depending on like which one you have, because you can kind of like, you know, the game is only going to charge you for how many of the frames you have the shard out and active for. You know, if you hold the button down, the per second rate, that's what it's kind of referring to, right? So the per second rate you charge up, that's going to take that much mana. So I think this one's like 50 or something like that. And it would be even more damage on the cap frame rate. So I could spam it way faster. Spam it perfectly on this, you have to have perfect execution, which I do not have. But, oh, alright, that's okay. We're not going to waste our time to go back up for that. See, I'm even spamming it too fast for the hitbox to come out and actually make contact. Yeah, but so yeah, this shard, since it does damage at such a fast rate, you get so much efficiency out of it, and you know you only end up paying an MP or 2, because you can get this thing on and off the screen in 1 frame. You get charged less than 1 MP. So usually ends up being about 2 or 3 frames or whatever, and then you know you only pay like a little bit, which is still great. And it's one of the best shards in the game, just for this reason. You don't even need like MP to be effective with damage, you know, because it has such a MP efficient rate. So the key though is that it's a very short range, right? So you have to put yourself in danger. No movement aids. Okay, so either we're gonna have vanilla craftwork, or Reflector Ray is going to lead us to some other kind of progression. And if you're wondering why we play this category and all that, as I explained a little bit earlier, you know, this category lets you play through basically almost all of the game without having to know any of like the secrets and all this other stuff. So like, you don't have to know where every secret wall is. You don't have to know where every chest is at. You know, you can just play through the game normally without having to know where all this other random stuff is. All you have to really know is what enemies drop purple shards, right? So in a vanilla playthrough, what you can do is just, you know, make sure you defeat every enemy once, and then you'll see their data in your in-game screen there, and then you can just either write it down, use the list, memorize it, however you want to handle it, and then you can play this version of the flags. It's very consistent, and not a lot can go wrong here. You can still soft lock the game, but it's very hard to do. Unless the game, soft locks it for you, of course. The only issue is that the game, unfortunately, without the real logic that truly prevents soft locks, you're going to have to hold that. The game is sometimes just going to make DS only available in a craftable scenario where you have to find the items and craft them, which can take hours. And then the other thing you're going to have to look at is sometimes the key item safeties will not spawn on their own when they should, and sometimes you'll see the sword lock behind itself, or you'll see DS just not spawn into the pool properly, because sometimes things can overwrite, or you can see a key item be overwritten. So there's some issues like that, but if you just bear with those things, you can get through. That's why we vet everything for competitive play ahead of time. Okay, you get to see this boss's actual pattern here, because on uncapped frame rate, you can just lock him in place, but on capped frame rate, you can't. So there we go. We'll get a blue here. Hopefully it's Accelerator. Vanilla Craftwork. Okay, well that's cool though, because that opens up the other side of the Garden of Silence logically. We could absolutely 100% skip it though, because I have the Reflector Ray and the Kung Fu Shoes. Kung Fu Shoes, or any shoe for that matter that has the special attack where you can do the mid-air kick, opens up a lot of weird and exploitable stuff, basically giving you infinite vertical movement and kind of like making the game very stale, because part of a lot of the game is trying to find vertical movement so you can open up new sections. And having Kung Fu Shoes and one other random purple that's normally not used for movement open that up for you is not all that engaging, not all that interesting. So, in competitive play, we typically don't allow it, but you'll definitely see it if you want to check out some of the speed runs of the game. I strongly recommend it just to see what's happening and see how broken the game can be. But yeah, check that out on your own time. But what I'll do is, instead of using Craftwork the intended way, the way that you're going to see it, when you play through the game normally or whatever, I will go ahead and do the ooh, bovine plume. That's cool. I will go ahead and do the Reflector Ray Kung Fu Shoes skip when we get there, just because. Actually, I think I need to farm Gargoyle here, because I don't want to come back unless I'm going north. Alright, cool. We also have a pretty good luck stat right now, considering the Gambler's Ring. So I didn't have really an issue with that. We have another safety check here. That room on the very far left where I found the second white lamp, that's normally our safety movement check. That would normally sometimes have invert, and this is our safety Zangetsu check. So there'd be a chest right there in the middle, and what that would do is it would prevent a soft lock if the sword spawns behind into an area where the sword opens. So there are 2 key item checks in the den / glacial tomb that could hold the sword in theory, and obviously that sword opens those areas without out of bounds. So yeah, that was put into the game after the fact when they discovered that players that actually want to complete their rando runs along with invert. Sometimes movement could be locked behind movement locked areas, so they put in the form of movement that opens everything into a safety location. But neither safety spawned for us, so we should have a just perfectly normal completable seed, unless of course Dimension Shift happens to be um, you know, craftable only. So, okay, and then I'm on about a 45-degree angle here. Nope, I didn't get it. Okay. Try it one more time. I might actually need a little bit more height. Yeah, see, I fell a little bit because I'm not used to. We want to jump out of it, actually. Oh, that might screw me. No. All right, we'll try one more time. Spam low short. That's how you want a Street Fighter. Oh. Okay. Well, Dimension Shift opens up everything, but let's just try this one more time to see if we can show it off for you live. It's much harder to do on 60 FPS, but time here. We actually need to use a couple of these because the special attack takes mana. Let me just get this guy out of the way as well. You go over there, buddy. Okay. All right. There you go, and that is legal in competitive play, so make sure that you keep that in mind if you want to get into competitive play. It doesn't come up often, but when it does, it's good to have. It's not too difficult to do. You just have to get that extension of the reflector ray to make sure that you jump out of it at the end. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. And then you just have to hit quarter circle forward a bunch in a row without screwing up, which is not that hard to do. Trust me. My execution is not good. I did play fighting games a bit back in the day, but I have been old and rusty for a long time, and I can still do that. So you can definitely get your thumb to be able to do that. And if you play on leverless, it's even easier. You know. Yeah, actually put the good weapon back on. Okay, so now I have some choices. I can go down below, but the problem is I can't really progress without a way to get through the water. So I don't have invert, I don't have aqua stream, and I don't have deep sinker. Dimension Shift actually allows me to do some really awkward and cool skips through the water, but I need at least double jump to be able to do that. And I don't have that either. So I think the safest route here is to just go to the library, defeat that boss, and see what we have. Because the boss in the library that drops a white shard will give us a hint at probably where we want to go next. Because that movement skill is going to open up an area, no matter what it is. If it's double jump, it opens up the northern area here, and lets me defeat Valak, the boss of this area. If it's invert, it opens up a ton of stuff, and if it's high jump, it also opens up a ton of stuff. Okay, and again, I'm just checking for accessories here. This is an accessory chest up there. That chest that I teleported to with Dimension Shift was an accessory chest. Okay. Yeah. Nose glasses is nice. It's an accessory. It increases luck, but we already have a better luck increasing accessory right now. So if you use a shard like Dimension Shift or Reflector Ray that moves you as a purple shard as a directional, if you use it from the ground, you have a window to jump afterwards, just like you would off of a ledge or whatever. You know, like the coyote time that we were showing off on the boat and all that. And if you can get this timing down, you can use this to get through a lot of sections that normally you would think you can't. You know, like sometimes you want to go up through a vertical doorway upwards, and all you have maybe will be dimension shift. Well, you can't dimension shift through the transition plane into the next screen. What you can do is you can dimension shift right to the top of it and then jump. You know, so here I'll show you. I'll show it off again. If I don't get hit by these stupid paintings. Yeah. There you go. So that's a pretty good technique to learn and try to get used to early. This will make your life a lot easier throughout the randomizer playthroughs. Okay, more safe rings that we don't want. And even though I have Failtape here as like one of the best offensive shards in the game, I also have these other movement purples, like Dimension Shift, of course. And these are going to get me through areas faster. And since I have a good melee weapon, I'm basically just sticking with that. Because I want to get through areas as fast as I can. But once it comes time to where I need to use that Failtape to kill bosses, I will switch to it. And that's going to be, there's going to be an instance of that right here. Because menuing back and forth between switching the two purples around, you know, definitely is not where we want to be. You talk to him again, you turn in your ID. This is Andre Alphys. Normally this is where you would find double jump. Nice fight. Okay, and if this isn't Deep Sinker, we're in great shape. I think I can get to that with Reflector Ray. And that is a helmet, head, yeah, okay. And actually that's a increase in luck, it lowers our intelligence, but we really want luck right now, just because the luck is going to help us get shard drops and stuff at higher rates. So now we have to go down. I do not have a choice. Oh, well, I do have a choice because I have Dimension Shift. If I didn't have Dimension Shift, I would have to go down into caverns in here. I can't progress at all. With Dimension Shift, we can do some really interesting vertical traveling. That's probably going to be more fruitful. And the only reason is because there's so much more stuff up in the top of the castle in terms of purple shards and key item checks. There's down into the caverns there is one white shard or two white shards, and I'm tempted, but I think we're good. So neither my sinker nor my shortcut crafts. I want to keep that bovine plume because a white shard will craft into another white shard with bovine plume, and that could be a huge boost to our movement. So I want to make sure that I keep that option on the table. All the stuff that we don't need. EX ether. I'll take a tunic to check. Yeah, I will take that as well. It's all the same hat. Okay, I'm going to check this tunic because behind the tunic is an accessory reward if you can find a ring, and a ring does drop off of one enemy drop pool. Okay, so it's a thunder ring, so not really useful for us, but it's good to know if that's, you know, Jeeble's glasses. I want to know. Because then if I see the drop pool that drops the ring, then I'm going to stay and farm it, you know, until I get a ring. I might do that anyway, just for crafting purposes, because having a regular ring also opens up some crafting recipes as well. And there's some base crafting recipes that are open with ring, in addition to the ones that it unlocks that you can't see. Okay, now I can spend a bovine plume if I really need to. We need to go... Oh, no, I opened the shortcut, so we can go this way. Yeah, because I had Reflector Ray, so I was able to go up and open the shortcut. Okay. Nothing like a vertical dimension shift climb through enemies while you don't have unlimited MP, but here we are. This is a bit of an advanced technique. This thing doesn't usually work at like 90 and 180 degrees all that well. Well, 90 degrees it works okay. 180 degrees it struggles. If you're trying to go straight vertical, it really, really struggles. But you can get around that by doing just diagonally angled and climb that way. Shield outside of there, he drops a purple, but there's much better places to farm him, and we're going to end up in those areas eventually anyway. Actually, I want to correct myself too. With Deep Sinker, I'm not technically locked to going down to the caverns, because with you know, assuming we have no dimension shift, with Reflector Ray or Double Jump, you can get up to this area, and from here you can then fight Bloodless, which is a boss in the room to the right there where I saved. The only problem with that is Bloodless is a terrible fight. You don't want to take it unless you absolutely have to and you have no choice. So I would even consider, because she only drops a red shard, because in the normal game, her progression is she gives you Bloodsteel, which then opens the caverns the first time. And again, though, there's no key items down there. It's only, like, there's 2 white shards and some purples. 3 purples, I guess if you count Decima, yeah. And Decabria, so there's 4 total in all 3 of the cavern sections. So caverns, desert, and lava. But yeah, but in this position with Dimension Shift, you know, we're only a Zangetsu Toe away from Go mode. And with Faltib, I'm pretty comfortable being able to beat the game. I just would like to find some more MP regen. We do have EX MP potions. And I can also do the food quest just to get some more healing. So I'm comfortable with just rushing to the sword and trying to beat the game from there. Here's one of the examples I'm talking about, where you can not get up here normally, but if you install the jump there, you will. Oh, hey, look. It's the sword. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and save here, just in case I kill Jeeble by accident. Very easy to do with a high damage shard like Faltib. Because remember, on this boss, to progress the story, we can't kill him. We have to defeat what's controlling him. Yeah, again, having a little bit of issues locked at 60 FPS. It's not the cleanest gameplay, but you know, it is what it is. I might consider, you know, if there's some kind of event in the future, wink, wink. We could consider, in theory, letting people play each other on PC with uncapped, but that would be up to the players to decide. I would not stand in their way. But for consistent experience, competitively, you know, if we're playing for anything with stakes, not just a casual race, we're going to play with capped FPS. Okay. Oh, it would help if we equip the sword we were supposed to equip. If you have to have this against the sword, you have to slash that red moon, and then that is what beats the fight correctly for you. I still don't have a waystone, so I didn't bother to pick up. This teleport room, because I knew I was going to use it to teleport back. And then we're going to go around. We're going to grab another book from OD there. I'll talk about the books when we get back in the library. And all the stuff I've covered throughout the tutorial series as well. So if you want any references, you can just kind of like go back to whichever video covers that topic, and you'll be good to go from there. Yeah, I like the Ancient Tiara, but I don't think we're going to get there. Because now we're in go mode. It's probably time to just go beat the game. Well, you know what I'll do? Pick up my rice. Because we still have an opportunity to teleport back. At a certain point, there is one more teleporter room on our way to the end game. And, you know, we could find something in the chest or whatever that lets us craft food. In theory. We're going to talk to this guy right here. Kill him 3 times. That quest is complete. I'm gonna run up here real quick, grab this chest, because this could be, yeah, that could be like Diablo's cap, or it could be Valkyrie's Tiara. Some really good headpiece that I don't really have right now. Ooh, do I have a waystone? No, I don't. Okay, I could go check an accessory spot on the boat that we had to go past because you need vertical movement to get to it. But I don't have a waystone to get out, so it's just gonna be too slow. There is one accessory check I can check that's out of the way, on our way, sort of. And I will check it, because I do have some extra movement. But we have 2 more accessory chances to get Chibo's glasses on our way. And if we get those things, we will defeat the final boss with ease. Okay, so we can buy 2 of these, not all of the ones we would like to have. But that's how she goes sometimes. How's she going, eh? Okay, so we're going to endgame. And we're going to be doing a lot of dimension shifting to get where we need to go, because that's our vertical movement. It costs some peace. We have to be mindful of that as well. And a lot of this is going to be evading high damage enemies, try not to get hit, save all of our healing for the bosses. The bosses shouldn't be too bad, considering I have Fatality, but it's going to still take a lot of evasion on my part. I need to not get hit a ton. We have a couple items that we're going to equip once we get there that have increased intelligence. I'm actually not going to bother to grab that second book until we teleport from the endgame area. I could have grabbed it now, but I think it's fine to skip. It's not going to have a huge impact. It's really just going to help on boss fights more than anything. Because we're really not going to be killing anything on our way here. We're going to be avoiding every enemy, because everything here has just a ton of health. It does a ton of damage. We don't want to deal with it. Part of the thing with the randomizer is, since you speed run through everything and you do it so quickly, you're just not going to have the levels. So you're really leaning on gear. You're leaning on healing items and stuff. Okay, so that's not going to do it. I don't have any other. I'm going to switch to Shuriken, because that actually can be used in conjunction with my, yeah, we still want Spike to be able to damage boost through enemies. So this is the main issue with this check, is all this damage I've got to take to get there, because I don't have any kind of double jump or high jump or anything. Although I can use Dimension Shift to avoid it. The thing is, I want to save my MP for Dimension Shifting across this giant gap in the next room. Okay, we got a key item chest coming up right here. Okay, boss key. That's one of the reasons why the spike breastplate's so good right there. I would have got hit and fell all the way down and had to climb all the way back up. We will probably be switching to the armor that has the intelligence on it that I crafted once I get to the bosses, but right now we're just trying to, again, evade everything, get past everything. Oops. Don't want to fall through that by accidentally pushing down and jump. I'm going to take this blue chest here. Okay, I was hoping for food, but because we're going to lose all of our money. Oh no, we're not going to lose all of our money. I'm skipping that boss. I have Dimension Shift already. Yeah. We're trying to save enough money to be able to buy that 30x potion for mana. Although we probably won't need it, considering we have Faltaib. It's never bad to have. I'm going to take the save here. Again, we're low health. We got to take a bunch of damage boosts in the next couple areas. Chance for a good headpiece here? Nope. We'll take that. Very conveniently placed MP refill. I'm actually going to go up here because there's a blue chest I want to check out. Take a little quick hit there to slide through. I was an evil bat that decided to follow me all the way across the map for whatever reason. Love to kill this Wolfman guy because he drops a blue, potentially, but to do it quickly and without getting grappled by him, I would take a bunch of MP and or healing to get that done. Check the stat up over here. Fortunately, capacity upgrade, not what we're looking for. Okay, and now we have to be very careful. We're going to the last section, Glacial Tomb. Everything here does ridiculous damage. Hits you from out of nowhere. It's terrible. So, like that, 90 damage, as you can see. And I've got decent armor on. Oh yeah, and they do ice blocks. Okay, really unlucky with the food here. I'm not getting, like, any food at all. But the last chance for glasses. No dice. Okay. Ooh, that's great. Higher defense and luck. We'll take it. Alright, here's our teleporter room. I'm going to go to the library first. Pick up second book. Okay, so basically how this works is OD lets you borrow a book. It increases your stats or whatever else you're looking for. The bottom one, the Deadeye book, increases the damage of all purple shards, which is definitely the best one, but then from there you're kind of like looking at different stat boosts. We'll take Fortune Tome for 5 luck early on when we're looking for shard drops. That's the way, at least that's the way I do it. And then later on when we're going to do damage, most of the time we're going to be using magic damage, so I will take the one that increases our intelligence, which therefore increases our magic damage. Ooh, let's go. I'm actually going to craft that, and I'm going to craft this. Okay, well that's the way she blows. I am going to equip the critical ring. Sell that. Kill this now. Okay, and I don't think there's any way I can... Yeah, they don't poison or anything. Yeah, there's no benefit to buying any of that stuff. Oh, that is handy. Yeah, there's no way I was going to be able to buy the Ancient Tiara either, so... Let me just favorite that. Let me switch back to Valk. And I think we're good here. Okay. So we'll be switching to the Scarlet Dress and the Kitsune Mask once we get into the save room, right before the final boss, to get that intelligence capped out. We'll also be switching to the Poison Kukri, so that I can poison Dominique, since she's humanoid and susceptible to poison, before I start spamming her with a Felty. Alright. Then I may want to switch to the Zangetsuto, so I have access to parrying, but that's kind of above my skill level. But it's something you feasibly could do. A lot of the katanas have a special parry move, which can save you from getting absolutely smashed by incoming attacks. Yeah. Very hard to get through there without taking at least one hit. There's a key item to the left here, but we don't need it, so I'm just going to skip. If we were still looking for DS, I might have to check that for, like, you know, a boss key to get me into a boss room where a purple would drop. Anytime you get a seed where Zangetsuto is not vanilla, it's usually cool. Okay, and then here's where we're going to make this transition. Critical Ring, Scarlet Dress, Kitsune, and Poison. And then shard-wise, I think we're good. Yep. Okay. If I need to get some long-range hits in, I will go ahead and utilize the Shuriken. Way less MP than... Also, Dominique is weak to dark, which is amazing. Oh, I was like, where's the elbow at? You can sort of manip her into doing what you want, but it's not the best. It's not the most reliable. She can still kind of do whatever she wants. Okay. She's just wrecking me right now. I'm out of practice. Fighting her with a little bit less in the tank. So you can jump to get her to jump scarf. You can jump over the crouch scarf. When she's standing, you can crouch to get her to crouch scarf. No way to evade that. Yeah, see there I should have jumped, but okay, we got her. And she was going to elbow me too, so take it. Okay, now we just got to stay focused, get this boss down. She is going to possess one of these three heads. Each of these three heads has a different attack pattern. Whatever head she possesses, she'll shoot her holy lasers out of, which are going to be tough for us to dodge considering we don't have any good movement. We don't have any good jumping, so we have to be really careful here. Just going to use these now. And since we can't do a whole lot of damage while she's doing these shenanigans, just going to keep Dimension Shift on lock. Unfavorite that. Okay. Really wanted to get some extra height here to jump over these heads. Okay. This is going to be a very slow fight, but we're going to get it done. Good RNG. The cat is the worst. The cat has this lava pit that we can't do anything about. Shouldn't have got hit by that, but I still did. And you want to hit the head that she's possessing because it lowers the boss's HP. So you can hit the other heads and stuff, but they have a higher HP count, and then you know it'll take you longer to actually beat the boss. And it's really not worth spending any resources on because they all have their own separate HP, and when you defeat one, you defeat them all. So you really just want to. And she carries the HP that you've done to the one that she possesses, to the one that she possesses next. Okay, so good RNG. We're just, with 60 FPS, I'm not getting as many hits as I would be, and there's really nothing that can be done about that. If you die, you have to fight Dominique all the way over from the save point again. So that's why this is really important to just make sure, even if you have a slower fight, you know, just take it slow and steady. Make sure you finish because you're going to lose so much time if you die. It's not worth it. And if you're in a tight race and you have to take some gambles, then that's fine. But okay, so there she goes. She disappeared again. Then you just kind of have to learn all the attacks. The Sonya Blade rings, the little green tether here, these meteorites that come flying down, the lasers. They lock in on a position that you're standing in when they spawn, so then if you're in a different place, you can just evade them like that. Okay, this is great RNG. So like the cat is the worst, especially since we don't have invert or high jump or anything to evade it. So anything that's not cat, just cycled, is best. Frog is technically the best RNG. Demon is slightly less optimal, but cat is so much worse than both of them that you'll take any rotation of Frog and Demon. We're just losing a lot of damage here to having to deal with these all these attacks. I mean, nice, there's time for you. If we weren't on 60 FPS, that would have been much faster, but, you know, hey, in the interest of fairness, console players, we love you. So yeah, there you go. That's an example of what your typical STS run is going to look like. Sometimes it can be much longer than that, depending on where the Zangetsu sword is. If it's in the vanilla location, it's going to always take a lot longer to go and find that. Dimension shift as well. If that's buried deep within a certain area, it could take a lot longer to find that as well. But you know, that kind of showcased a lot of the things you're going to run into. You might run into a mid-game dimension shift. You might have to use that instead of other white shards like double jump, high jump, and invert to traverse through the game. And you know, you may have to make do with what you've got without infinite MP or like not a lot of healing. You know, and what I'm going to try to do as well throughout the next month or two is we'll try to post some more basically sample videos. But if you want to, you can go back on my channel. There are races with my commentary. There are runs from me. And then also, if you want to check out Final Fantasy Randomizer and their YouTube channel, which I'll link as well. We have 2 marathon runs. One was a max chaos. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties, but I was still able to complete it. So, you know, you can check that out and, you know, get familiar with that. And then I also ran a bonus of this category at STS, and we had all that stuff sorted for that. So that one was a little bit faster because we had some good luck early. And yeah, so you can watch a lot more of these, get familiar with them, get comfortable with them. Make sure you check out the video at the end of this playlist as well for a very special announcement that will, you know, hopefully get you excited about Bloodstained in its kind of swan song era before we get the new game in 2026. And hopefully, you know, people still will play this game in years to come. If we don't get a randomizer version built into the game and the new game, I think that, you know, we will still be coming back to this one quite a bit. So just because, you know, it's so hard and difficult to launch a randomizer on console. Very easy on PC, but with the built-in mode that lets all of our console friends play with us as well and race. And the new game is going to have co-op, so super excited about that. Get ready for more co-op races. Maybe we'll do some co-op races of this, especially the Max Chaos variety. So check out the Max Chaos demo video as well. Thank you so much for tuning in and checking out all of my new tutorial videos. Tony Ortiz, I'm signing off, and I'm going to say one last thing to the community. So much love. I got into this because the community was so cool. I was just watching it one day. I've always loved Soten. This is the spiritual successor to Soten, of course. But it kind of just went under my radar. I knew it was coming out. I just didn't really pay attention. I watched people play it when it first came out, and then I kind of zoned out a little bit just because I was having so much fun watching Soten Randomizer and stuff like that when it was in its infancy back then, and other randomizers and stuff. And as the game grew and they put the randomizer mode in, and some of the bigger players would, start to play it and kind of show it off, that's kind of like what got me interested, especially when I saw that, there were no complex directional inputs that needed to be chained together in order to, get really good at playing the game fast. Um, and I just kind of fell into it, and I've had a lot of fun playing it the last few years. And I've gotten to the point where I've even taken this to a live event and played live, like I just mentioned. So, that's kind of how it goes. If you have a good community around the game, and I just want to say thanks to all those people that have helped me out specifically. I want to shout out the kind of like the most well-known people in the community. Just for being an inspiration and kind of like helping us uh, grow and stick around and all that. And that's Jupiter, Climb, Bobby, and Fran. So all of them were instrumental in organizing the first event and making sure that we got to see all those matches. So I really want to first tournament that we had. So I really want to dedicate the future project that I'm working on to those people and say thank you to them specifically for inspiring all of us and kind of bringing us all together that are in the community. And I want to say also a very special thank you to Final Fantasy Randomizer for having the live event summer of 2025, for inviting me to come and play, for letting me play, and then for also helping us out facilitating the project that we're working on to bring you guys some more competitive play before 2025 is over. So check out that announcement trailer at the end of this playlist. All right, thanks guys, and we'll see you in future videos and hopefully watching the live events.